And hey everyone, Mark Newstater with eXp Realty. Welcome back to another Calgary Real Estate Show. This time Thursday, November 16th, 2023 edition. It snowed. What the heck is going on? I thought it wasn't going to snow all winter.
Yeah, but you know what? It's the beautiful thing about Calgary when you have a day like this is much nicer than the brown everywhere. Blue sky, sun shining. Gotta love that.
Yeah, no, it does look pretty beautiful when you get the snow and then you get the sunshine like the next day. I don't need 5 days of snow.
No.
Like we had in October,
Immediately.
was it? Yeah.
No, we need it immediately like this. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so coming up today, you're going to want to stay tuned. Jayden Bax is going to show you, I wasn't joking, this is not clickbait, how to save $50,000 through your mortgage, on your mortgage renewal, through your mortgage renewal. Obviously, it's not in one fell swoop, but Jayden will get to that in a second. Natalie, you got a super cool feature coming up today, too.
Yeah, I'm doing a two-parter on the evolution of kitchens and how they've looked through the decades. So
very nice. Very nice. Yeah. All right. I should actually put the slides up on the screen. There we go. Bing. All right. So we're going to rattle through this. We're mid-month. There's no shocks here. There continues to be not enough detached homes for people to buy, as you can see. So 183 new listings this week, 196 sales, and that's 107% sale to new listing ratio, 160 pending, so a bit of a drop from last week, but up from 2 weeks ago. 120 price reductions, 35 back on market, and 28 days on market, which Natalie will detail more in the next slide. Our active detached went down again, and our total active also down again, now under 2,600. And over to you, Natalie. Let's go back a year just for fun.
Let's go back in the time machine. Okay, so last year, this week, total sales was 373. This week is 417, so that's up almost 12%. New listings last year, 375, and this week, 493, so that's up 31.5%. Active listings last year, 3594. This year, 3191, so it's down 11%. And days on market last year was 40. This year, 28, and that is down 30%.
Yeah, so we're starting, again, as we say every week, that active listings between this year and last year, shrinking. Definitely shrinking. And these are all segments, right? So detached, semi-detached, row townhouse, apartment, condo. So this is stats for the all four segments. So yeah, be really interesting to see. And then Jayden, over to you with your interest rate updates. I noticed there's some below 6.
Yes, yeah, and we were floating around that 5.89 with the 5-year fixed high ratio. I'll just touch on this stuff quick. Honestly, this is going to continue to come down. We've seen a significant reduction in bond yields on a 5-year fix, which kind of set the price for a 5-year fix. Lenders haven't really caught up to that. Like I always say, they catch up quick on the way up, a little bit slower on the way down. But those rates have gone down over 1%, like 1.1% over the last, kind of 2.5 weeks there, which is significant, right? So we were, when we started this, we were at a closer to like a 5.89. If we see that whole 1% come in over the next several weeks into the new year, we could be looking at sub 5% 5-year fixed by the new year. I think that the lenders like to let the bond market figure itself out for a little bit longer before they start making big jumps like that.
Right. Yeah, all right. Sure. So I don't mean to, so let's go to this next slide. So no, you can go to that one. There we go. Perfect. So last night during our business networking meeting, Jayden was one of our featured speakers. And, this whole presentation is, we're actually going to be doing a longer video. So stay tuned for that. Watch out for that. Share it with people because, there are people making decisions right now, really life-altering financial decisions based on getting a piece of paper from their bank or their mortgage lender. Hey, renew for 5 years at, blah, 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 whatever the rate is. And this really, really blew my mind last night. And so I wanted Jayden to go into this. And that's why we went quickly through all the stats, because I want him to spend some time here. First, Jayden, we didn't put this slide in, but just explain to people, why we're very likely heading into a recession and what has typically happened prior to and then after recessions happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had five recessions in the last 50 years. One of them was relatively minor and involved COVID, and so we can kind of throw out that one because it doesn't follow the pattern of the other ones. But in the case of every single recession that we've had, there was a rapid rising of interest rates prior to the recession due to something happening in the market. And then there's a breaking point there. And all of a sudden, those interest rates start coming down quickly again, right? So just about every recession, well, no, the four major recessions we've had, when it went up, it went down as much or more than what the interest rate was at initially. I don't think it's going to be the case of where we see it going down more or as much this time. But we're going to get a lot of the way there. During COVID, we were at historically low rates, and that's unsustainable, I think. But we're going to get a lot of the way there. Back to, I would assume, like post 2008, and with the debt that we've taken on since then, normal interest rate on a 5-year fixed is somewhere between 2.5% and 3.5%. Similar thing for a 5-year variable. So a lot of my assumptions in this slide are based on that we're going to go back there. I think we'll be back there probably close to the end of next year, but let's just say that it's closer to the end of 2025 for argument's sake. A couple of other assumptions I've made here. You have $500,000 left on your mortgage, and you have 25 years left on your mortgage as well. So when you get that, when I did this slide, 5-year interest rates were 5.84%. When you get that renewal offer from your bank, generally speaking, they don't tell you what the 1, 2, 3, 4 are. They give you the 5-year fixed and the 5-year variable, and you choose between them, and hopefully you don't ever talk to your bank in their mind, right? They don't want you talking to them. They don't want you asking questions. Sign it and send it back in, right? So if you were to take that option one with the 5-year fixed, you're looking at a total spend over that 5 years of just about $190,000. About 140 of that, 135 is interest. If you were to take that 2-year fix, which is a half point higher, it's tough to make that decision. 0.5% more than what the 5-year fix is. But then you take a 3-year fix at 3% after 2 years are up. You're looking at a total spend of 166, let's say 165. So you're looking at about $25,000 less spending over the 5 years, and you're spending $35,000 less of interest over that 5-year period. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely significant. So, you know, I've always been a variable guy, and I think you'll see why in the next slide. That's where it's even more significant, right? So same kind of idea. We don't need to worry about breaking things off by the 2-year and 3-year chunk. Now you're locking into a 5-year variable at prime minus 0.9, which is about what the market rate is, generally speaking, across the board. There's some that are slightly better, but this is what the market shows us. And there's a significant difference in pricing there as well in terms of what you're paying on a monthly basis and things like that. But what I think is going to happen, and what the Bank of Canada will tell you is absolutely not going to happen, is that I think that rates are going to fall significantly next year. They've come up since the trough. They've come up 4.75%. I think at least 1.75% next year, and then 2% in 2025. And the way that I've laid this out is it wasn't all January 1st. We're putting on a lower throughout the year. On both years that we'll see different shifts in interest rates. And so we're only really coming down 3.75%. So we're not going to the same lows that we were at. But with that in mind, going over those 2 years, and then let's just assume that things kind of flatten out and stay the same from there, you are looking at savings in interest of $56,000 on your interest payments in that 5-year stretch, and $40,000 in payments all over the place. So the upside to that is that you're making less payments, significantly less in payments, but you've also put more towards the principal of your mortgage, so that when you renew, you have that extra advantage. That is a significant, incredible amount of savings over a 5-year period.
It's just mind blowing, right? So again, you know, if you're wondering, and Jayden, you said this last night, it doesn't matter if it's you or another mortgage broker And I'm not saying don't sign with your bank, right? I'm not saying that, but at least have a conversation. It's like,
yes,
oftentimes we say, talk to multiple realtors when you're going to sell your home. We're all going to have a different opinion, different ways that we do marketing and things like that. Absolutely do it, right? And this is another good example of that. We're getting, the classic second opinion or first opinion, whatever it might be, is so, so important. I mean, it literally can save you tens of thousands of dollars. And to be fair, not everyone has a $500,000 mortgage. Let's call it $300,000. That's still a lot of money you're saving, right?
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. And I might tell you, if your bank is giving you an offer of, I'm seeing prime minus 0.9, and they're giving you an offer of prime minus 1.1. I might tell you, stick with your bank, but at least have that conversation over whether the fixed or the variable is better for you. What is your bank offering you on a 2 years so that we can look at things 2 years from now? You need to have those conversations and not just sign without thinking because you think that's all that there is on the market.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So that was great. Amazing. It was a real eye opener for me. It makes so much sense, right? But a lot of people don't look at it that way. They're concerned about, just to put a bow on this, we got our renewal letter and I almost fell off my chair and then I called Jayden, of course. But there's options, right? Like there's a lot of options out there, and make sure you investigate them. Take the time. This is your biggest asset for most people they're ever going to own in their life. It is worth taking some time and making the phone call to me, and I'll connect you with Jayden or directly to Jayden. Absolutely. All right, good stuff. Natalie, over to you.
All right, we're looking at kitchen design through the decades, part 1. It's a 2-part.
If this was smell-o-vision right now,
it would smell so bad, bad. All right, so in the 20s and 30s, this was really when design started to go beyond just the utilitarian in a kitchen. It really was the start of counters being put on top of cabinets, right? And stacking things. They weren't really done. It was a little bit more of a movable pieces of furniture, basically, like you see the old kitchen workspaces, that's how they looked. So it was a lot of Art Deco. So you have the checkerboard and all that kind of stuff. So in all of these slides, the slide on the left is the original ad or the pictures from the original kitchens. And then on the right is the more modern take on each of these things. So I love this. I love the hood in the original one.
Yeah.
Next, we're moving into the 40s. So it was retro rules, right? They are very much, you still have the very old school ovens, that kind of thing. The kitchen on the left, this was an ad from, I don't know if it was Kenmore or something like that, but it's quite interesting. On the right, it's doing the apron sink, which was very farmhouse. It's very cozy. It's a lot of pastels. That was a big part of that. Moving into the 50s, they called it nuclear chic. So lots of color coming in at this point in time. So as you can see, the ad on the left, I find it so interesting that they had these sort of tealy colored exterior cabinets, and then the interiors were all like a fuchsia red color. I find that sort of pretty. Into the 60s, we hit the mid-century modern. So it was a lot of walnut. They had a lot of colored countertops, as you can see with that lovely yellow. I don't know if I could handle that. That would hurt my eyes in the morning, but it's quite a beautiful design, right? It's really all about aesthetically pleasing. They called it like from the Bauhaus era. 70s, the kitchen. I love the ad. I think it is such a cool house. I would, that curved ceiling. So it's just on the right, you can see with the new take, it's, they were sort of bringing in this, like the blue, I don't even know what that is, if it's poured epoxy or whatever for the floors. Just a lot of pattern, a lot of color. And then that's all I've got for that.
Part 2 next week. To be continued. All right, let's wrap it up with some community events here. So if you're, if you want to head out to Cochrane, if you live up there, there's the pop-up holiday market. So that's the 18th and 25th. So that's this weekend, and December 2nd and 16th at the Frank Wills Memorial Hall. Fairview Studios' famous annual Pottery Fall Sale. That's coming up this weekend. And I got to put this on there because Natalie does knock it out of the park. Thank you, Bill.
She does. Yeah.
She does knock it out of the park.
Thank you.
Circa Musica, Holiday Wonderland, November 22nd. So that's like a Cirque du Soleil style show at Winsport. And so if you're interested in that, just Google stuff, right? It's hard to put links on here. So Locked Library, this would not be for me, but I know people love the escape rooms and all that. But it'll be really fun if you like that kind of thing, because it's at the actual big library. November 24th, doors open at 7, and then the game starts at 7:30. And then the holiday market at the Deerfoot Inn and Casino from 11 to 4. That's coming up next weekend.
Next weekend.
So there we go. We're going to take that off. And great. Thank you again, Jayden, for providing that super valuable information. And, if you want some more information, we'll post Jayden's information in the show description and the comments, depending on which platform you're watching this on. And that's it for this week, guys. We'll see you all in 7 days.
Bye.
Hey guys.